Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio Wisconsin Voices here at WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. And I am in the building back with the squad. Shout out to the squad right out the gate. Debo, shout out to you. And Jermaine, what's good, man? How y'all feeling today?
Can't complain at all.
All
How you
right.
doing today,
Yeah.
Doc?
Thank y'all for holding it down. All right, y'all. It's a beautiful overcast day here in Milwaukee. We just want to make sure that we shout out our guests that we had yesterday before we get to the guests we have today and one we have in studio right now. I definitely want to shout out Mr. Tim Corden coming on from Building Unity, just expressing, hey, come out here, get out in the mix. We definitely want to see you, whatever space or whatever area that you're interested in. Also want to shout out to Mr. Celeste Morgan Jr. from City Forward Collective. Came in and talk about the state report card and the charter school system and some of the votes that we had and a plethora of things yesterday. So shout out to him. We will be having and working to get Celeste back on the show because it was just so much that could have asked him when it came to the charter system here. Now, getting to the next stuff, the good stuff, we got Miss Farina Brooks in the building today. What's going on, Farina?
What it do?
What
What
it
it do?
do?
What it
What it
do?
do? You be
What
working
it
hard.
do? Yeah, I'll be trying. I'll be
Yeah,
trying.
you be able look, Farina. If I don't see somebody, I'm gonna see Farina in the mix. That's for sure.
Hey,
I
I'll be
mean,
rolling. I'll be rolling. I'll
Farina
be
be with
rolling.
with the people who be the movers and shakers for
Yeah.
real. Farina, tell the people who you are. Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Farina Brooks. I am executive director and founder of an organization called Dream Team United WI. We are an organization that consists of many political, prominent, just different walks of life people that's in this organization. Our mission is to give back to the community, to encourage them. Every month we go around and we do a grocery giveaway. We have no, like, people don't have to show ID, they don't have to do none of that. We just ask them how many in their family, their zip code. We do like 6 or 7 annual events. So we have one that's coming up Thanksgiving Day. This is our 7th year. It is called Breaking Bread Community Thanksgiving Day Feast, with the Dream Team United WI. Alderman of 15th District, Russell Stanford, Embassy Center MKE, formerly Park Lawn Assembly of God, and also Milwaukee County. And I think I'm forgetting, oh, and Gideon. Gideon Verdine is actually going to be there. He's going to be DJing for us.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Sounds like so. Now, how many? You said is this the
7th year.
seventh year it is?
Hmm.
Now, how has it been? Always like to ask partners and organizations that we have come through because I'm always curious about this. How has the results or the turnouts been year by year for you?
So the very first year, we probably had like 150 people,
Mm.
maybe
Your first year?
the first year.
That's pretty good.
And the first year we had a very few coats
Okay.
that somebody gave us, very few groceries. The second year it got bigger. We probably served 300. As of today, we are up to last year we served 500 people. We don't promote it, but we also do delivery for repairs of the breach, which last year was 75. This year they want 125
Hmm.
meals.
Hmm.
Rescue mission, we do them. That's 50 meals. We give away a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. A caterer, shout out to Shalita Furlong and a Taste of Love Catering.
Hmm.
She cooks the meals every year. So it's your traditional turkey. It's fried turkey. It's smoked turkey. It's regular turkey,
Mm.
dressing, macaroni and cheese. I think this year she's doing some spaghetti, some green beans, some corn,
Hmm.
some dinner rolls, and of course we need to have desserts.
Hmm.
We ask for donations, which we are still asking for donations.
Yeah, I was about to get to that
We
too.
are raising money because we buy brand new coats,
Okay.
because we tried the gently used and it just really didn't work. So, the COVID is still real.
Hmm.
So we decided, no, we won't take anything but new coats. So if you want to donate a coat, it has to have the tag on it,
Hmm.
has to have never been worn. We also do new coat, we know hats, gloves, socks. And this year, because of everything that's been going on, we added an element.
Okay.
And so that element is personal hygiene items, toilet paper, paper towels,
Hmm.
toiletries, personal hygiene items, Pampers, formula, household cleaning items, and laundry supplies. So if you don't have to buy the big ones. They sell the real little bottle somewhere. So You can either buy the stuff and bring it, or you can send us a donation and we'll purchase it. But we doing that because we know that there's a need for food, but there's also a need for these other items
Oh
that
yeah,
people are
big
going to
time.
need. And so we did that, and of course we give out groceries.
Yeah, yeah. Hygiene items are going up. I mean, I go in the store and look at them packs of deodorants, and depending on where
Yeah.
you going, you spending, and the older I get, I pay attention to with the aluminums and certain things that's in these deodorants. So some of them you are spending $5, $6, $7 for, depending on, and if you're a house full of kids, and even if you're taking care of other family members, just
Mhm.
like how my family is, and the caretakers we have in my family, you are buying household items, not
That's
for
right.
just yourself, but you're buying them for a aunt, a grandma, a cousin, an uncle, a brother, a granddad, whoever. So, yeah, that's another twist. Just let's go into more about you, Farina. Let me go back to some of your event. Like I said earlier, we see you out, you in the mix, pretty heavy. Uh, why is the work you do so important to you?
So I'm originally from a little town called Jackson, Michigan.
Okay,
Um,
you from Jackson, Michigan?
uh-huh.
Okay,
And if anybody knows Tony Dungy, yes, I know him. We grew up
Tony,
together.
the Tony Dungy.
The Tony Dungy. Yeah, he know me. He know my nickname. So yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
know
y'all
me.
know each other
We grew up,
first one. Yeah, that's perfect. It's
close
crazy.
to each other. But
Wow.
I grew up there. I went through a lot in my life, and so when I came up here, I didn't do anything at first. I moved up here in '91. I'm
Okay.
married. We've been married 47 years, I think, something like that, maybe more.
All right. She's off the
Um,
market, y'all. So don't ask.
yeah, 2 children, grown, 7, but 2 physical, biological, one that we might as well say we raised them.
Okay.
7 grandchildren, 2 great grands. I am a survivor of second stage lung cancer,
Hmm.
which I beat in 2018. I had to have
Good
my
blessing.
lower lobe of my right lung removed because that's where the cancer was.
Hmm.
So that journey was really a journey.
Hmm.
But I was working in the community even at that point.
Okay.
So I started probably 2017. There was a young man named Amani Robinson that was
Hmm.
shot and killed down the street from me. And I am a believer. I go to Park Lawn Assembly of God formerly, but it is now Embassy Center.
Hmm.
I felt like the church wasn't doing enough. And
Hmm.
so God said, well, no, you do it. I gave you the tools. I know everybody's familiar with my nephew, Vine Mays, and Gabby Taylor. And so those are two of the people I knew. I met Tracy Dent. I knew Frank Nitty.
Hmm.
So I met all of them. And so what happened is I told them what I wanted to do, and we all came together. And the very first event we did was in honor of Romani, right on 37th and Center.
Okay.
It was a beautiful event with prayer walk, a big, event afterwards. And that started the journey. My spiritual dad, Bishop Harvey, he said, daughter, they're going to be looking for you. Now I said, who going to be looking for me? Because I'll be honest, like I was just doing the one event. I wasn't trying
Yeah.
to
Trying to get in
do.
the mix like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I
wasn't
was like,
trying
okay, I'm doing this one event. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm cool, right?
and
That
they
ain't what
got you.
happened.
Yeah.
That ain't what happened.
Yeah.
And so from there, I just started doing events more and more. And in the beginning, it was just like a bunch of us coming together. We didn't have a name.
Yeah.
Right after COVID, when when we were able to get back out, we did our very first event, and that's when we became the Dream Team United WI. There are some Rita Lee. She reached out to me. She said, "I miss everybody. Let's do something." So I talked to nephew Bryan. I said, "What if we do it in Sherman Park?" And
Hmm.
when I tell you, we had everything. We had everything, including Pampers and formulas and anything you could think of. We had, and we gave out groceries. Um, the year of COVID, we were the only organization that were still out there on Thanksgiving Day serving the people.
Mm.
Because we know that even though COVID came, it don't stop the fact that people still need to eat. People are hungry. Some people don't have nowhere to go,
Yeah.
and so we never stopped from the day we started. Shout out to and rest in peace to my community son Keon.
Hmm.
When it first started, he had a vision. I had a vision. So we did one. He actually did one in Atkinson Park, the first one.
Hmm.
And he go, we ain't doing it over here no more. We just doing it over there. I said, oh, okay. So him, and I got to shout out Reggie Moore. Him and Reggie
Yeah.
Moore every year, all the way up to probably 2 or 3 years ago, they made sure that we had the tent for this event because we do it in a heated tent.
Hmm.
And so every year they made sure that we had that tent. I didn't have to do nothing. Every year we knew it was going to be there.
Hmm.
Um, it's been big. It's been great. There's so many different things that have happened to show us that this is why we're out here. One of them is two young men. They probably like 10 or 11. They actually walked from 35th and Lisbon to 35th and Center because they knew we were going to be out there. They didn't have no coats. They didn't have no socks.
Oh, yeah.
Though that's the reason why we do
Yeah.
the things that we do in the community. We also had a young man, one of our, because in the summer when we do a giveaway, we also do a cookout. So not only do they get free groceries, they also get hot dogs, hamburgers, box chips, some kind of little snack cake, some water, juice, or whatever. And so one of our grill masters was shot and killed. And so the president and his wife, they wanted to turn that into something positive.
Hmm.
And so we started a scholarship in his honor. His name is Patrick Ross Jr. We called him PJ.
Hmm.
We gave away our first scholarships last year, two for 1,000 and two for 250. So we'll be doing it again this year. He liked to cook. So we're looking to do a one. We tried to do a culinary one last year, but nobody signed up for it.
Okay.
They don't have to they don't have to be going to no big college. As long as it's a continuing education,
Hmm.
they can apply for the scholarship, and we have a team that go over them, and then they decide which people that they think should get the scholarship. The
Okay.
requirement is MPS graduate of that school year,
Hmm.
2.0 grade point average, have to do a 500-word essay
Okay.
about what community means to them
Hmm.
and a little about themselves, what college they're going to. And we also this year started with Sequanna Taylor, where we took 3 youth to Nashville, Tennessee to
Hmm.
do college tours.
Nice. Yeah.
And so we asked for $500 to sponsor each student. What the kids didn't know is that half was going on a hotel, the other half we gave it to them
Hmm.
so that they have some spending money so that their parents didn't have to worry about trying to send them with some money. So we're going to be continuing to do that this year. They said they want to go to I think it's Howard University in Washington or whatever.
Hmm.
So we're going to be working on that. So we do a lot of moving parts and we work with a lot of different organizations because for me, we talk so much about silos, but I think that we also have to understand that we can't talk about silos and still be in a silo. The only way that
Say it.
we can do anything for to take back our city is that it's going to take all of us coming together.
Yeah.
It's not gonna you can't the politicians can only do so much.
Hmm.
It takes us as a community to come all
Hmm.
together and be that village that we need to see. And the community need to see positive reactions because they tell me they'd be like, well, how do they expect for us to work together and y'all can't even work together?
Yeah.
True facts, right? So for us, we love working with other people, other organizations, because to us that's really what it's all about. That's why you see me in a lot of spots. I didn't have a car for a year because somebody hit my car while it was parked, tore it up.
Hmm.
But what I did is I was renting cars so that I can go and support everybody's events and
Hmm.
the different events we did and
Hmm.
all of that. And so last year in July, a year to the date, I was nominated to win a car from Festus Auto,
Hmm.
and I actually won a car. So
Congratulations on that. Yeah, I
yeah,
seen that. They gave
yeah,
you a beautiful vehicle, and shout out to Festus as well. They
yeah.
I want to get them on here to talk about some things that's going on with them too. And just the being a black owned car dealership and successful car dealership here
Mhm.
on the northwest side of Milwaukee. So yeah, you got a lot going on and you are in a lot of spaces. Just to kind of wrap it up before we go on this first break, what are some
Mhm.
ways that folks get in contact with you for donations or anything?
So you can send, or even if you want to volunteer or whatever, you don't have to just do it for Thanksgiving. You can donate all the time. So you can send. We have a Cash App, Dream Team United WI. We have PayPal, Dream Team United WI, and we have Square. So if you go on our website, that we have a website. If you go on the website to donate, it'll go through Square and
Okay.
everything. And PayPal is Dream Team United WI. We accept any donations. No donation is too small. Because every week we pick up groceries and every week we have to pay for a truck to pick up those groceries. And sometimes, um, being the leader of the organization, sometimes I have to pay for things out of my pocket.
Yeah, yeah, and we appreciate all the hard work and everything that those organizations like yours and helping kids better themselves in the village,
Yes.
and everybody in
Yes.
the mix, all the work that they do, and everybody that get out there and works with these organizations. So shout
Mhm.
out to y'all. Farina, we thank you for coming
Thank
on,
y'all.
Miss Farina
Thank
Brooks.
y'all. Thank
And
y'all.
I'll be seeing you in the mix. You already know.
And don't
Probably
forget, Thanksgiving Day, guys. Thanksgiving Day,
yeah.
35th and Center. We will be in a heated tent,
Okay.
12 to 3. We'll be serving traditional hot dinner. We'll also have brand new coats, hats, gloves, socks while supplies last. We'll be giving out groceries while supplies last. Nephew Vine Mays is going to be there doing his famous s'mores. And then we'll also have the personal hygiene items and those things that will be handed out also. So if you want to donate, please feel free to donate. Believe that everything that we get, we do spend it back in the community. We give it back to the community.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about. Well, thank you again for
You're
coming. Be a
welcome.
voice radio, Wisconsin Voices. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the Dr. Sequanna Taylor to talk about what's going on the state side and in the community. Be a voice radio.
AURN News.
I'm Jamie Jackson. Two Texas men are facing federal charges after prosecutors say they planned an armed takeover of an island in Haiti. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Texas, the suspects are 21-year-old Gavin Rivers Weisenberg of Allen and 20-year-old Tanner Christopher Thomas of Argyle. Prosecutors say the men allegedly developed a detailed plan to travel to Haiti, kill the men living on the island, and use the women and children as sex slaves. They're charged with conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country, as well as production of child pornography. Federal
Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Thank y'all for tuning back in. Of course, we have a very important guest in the mix again. It's Dr. Sequanna Taylor in the building, who is a
Hey.
prominent American educator, community organizer, and a Democratic politician from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, currently serving his two key elected roles. You doing your thing, so that's why I never see you.
Man,
I
you
had to
see
run
me.
up. I had to run into your event last week to see
You
you.
did. Thank you for
Yeah. Oh, of
coming.
course. No.
I
Yeah.
just be in the streets doing my thing. For
Yeah,
the
I know,
community.
I know, and shout out to you and thank you for representing Milwaukee like Milwaukee's supposed to be representing. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Yes, and I love that. Yeah, we keep saying. I always think about like every time I'm doing the work, like man, make sure you stay in the mix with the politicians that's actually doing the work. And I ain't trying to knock nobody. I'm just saying what it is.
Right.
And then in the community organizing groups that are actually doing the work, because that's extremely important. So again, thank you. So just give a little intro if folks don't know who you are. Public
Mhm.
service and elected offices that she has. Dr. Taylor is a member of the Wisconsin State Assembly, representing the 11th Assembly District, having assumed office in January 2025. Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors. She is an incumbent member of the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors for the District 5, assumed office in 2022 after previously serving in the 2nd District.
2016.
Ooh, yeah.
No, that's okay. So
from
when they
2016 to
redistrict me, I
2022.
went from District 2 to District 5. So
Okay.
you're saying, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And I'm sorry about that. Don't beat me up later for that.
No, I won't.
And she's a former member and vice president of the Milwaukee School Board for 2019 and 2023. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for coming to Be a Voice Radio Wisconsin Voices. I always love have you in the mix and coming out to any event. So I guess we can just hit it with the good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Out the gate. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Taylor, the Wisconsin state budget determines what communities can and can't build. From your vantage point, what does Wisconsin consistently underfund, and how does that show up in everyday life for residents across the state?
Right. So underfunding is, man, right? Like even if we say it, even if they fund some things, let me preface this in this way.
Mhm.
Even if some things are funded, right, there is still a lack of money that goes to certain things when we talk about basic necessity,
Mhm.
right? All up in arms, I'll just talk about SNAP. Even though SNAP was coming from the state, that was a federal
All right.
mandate, right? And
Mhm.
so I think a lot of people don't understand too, like the state is also a leg of federal.
Mhm.
So we get federal money, federal grants and things like
Mhm.
that trickles down to the state, and then that trickles down to our local,
Mhm.
right? And so what I saw in this budget, right, just being my first budget at the state, but not necessarily knowing about budgets, is that when we talk about housing,
Mhm.
right, if we take the count right now for Wisconsin, we need at minimum 270,000 more housing just to house the people we have here. And that's not talking about people who will be born, people who will move here. So we have a housing insecurity,
Mhm.
right? And I know we're just like any other state that has it too, but I'm going to focus on Wisconsin
Of course.
and Milwaukee because I live here.
Of course.
So right now at this time, 270,000 housing just to house those that are here, right? And we're talking, that's the basic necessity needs. We're also talking about when we talk about economic development, whether a community that grows and is able to foster economic development is great, but trying to sustain it is at most times our issue, right? When we even see some of the businesses that are here. So housing insecurity, making sure that jobs, because now even if you work a job, I usually go through this whole thing when we're talking about money and rents. Even if you make $15 an hour minimum, and a lot of people are not making that, when you take into the account what your rent is going to be, nothing less than $800, $900, and we're talking about for 1 and 2 bedrooms, your light and electricity, that's a couple $100. Not saying if you have to do water, if you have a car note, groceries, food, and that is just the basic necessities. I'm not talking about clothing for your kids. I'm not talking about childcare, right? I'm not talking about those emergencies or things that may happen. You're still in the red. At least $1,000 will make it 15. So 15, even if it became the minimum wage, we're still lacking behind that. And we take Wisconsin and say this isn't a place where you have to make a lot of money to live. So we even looking at it as there's no medium income to me. You either have money or you don't. That's where we're at now. So what I seen in the budget was them putting some money towards childcare, which was needed because a lot of childcare providers was about to close their doors because of the lack of funding they were getting reimbursed just for childcare. And childcare overall is at least $1,500 a month. That's at least, right? And so some of the money they put back into there was childcare. They put in some stuff for housing. They put in some stuff for farming, agriculture, and things like that. Another thing that I see happen at the state a lot is criminal justice. That's my thing. I had a reentry thing. Yeah, and I sit on the criminal justice committee. And so all of the bills that I see coming up now, they're either taking misdemeanors and making them felonies, or they're taking low-level felonies and making them increased felonies,
Okay.
right? And a person may say, hey, what are you saying with all this crazy stuff going with Milwaukee? We need some discipline. I'm not saying we don't, but in factor two, a lot of that affects Milwaukee more than it would affect somebody up north,
Of
right? And I've
course.
sat on a committee
Big
when they
time.
said it. And so my thing is too, if we don't create an environment where a person is able to thrive, then we see the lack of things that are happening now, right? Because a person is going to eat by any means necessary, not to be funny. So if I take away your will and means to get some food, what are you going to do to get it?
Anything I can.
Right.
Yeah.
And to feed my family.
Yeah, and we see the issue. I see it day by day. I mean, I follow, and not really going off subject, but it's in that same space. I follow Milwaukee County booking every single day.
Yes.
Everybody look like me and you and everybody else in this room. I mean, it's a small percent of other groups,
Yeah.
but day by day. And I know a lot of the charges are cocaine, heroin.
Yeah.
And why is heroin? Excuse me, not heroin. Excuse me. It's and it's because, like you said, people haven't had the opportunity or haven't been shown the opportunity. And if these guys are moving and distributing the way they are, and some of these pending charges are 4, 5, 6 charges, you obviously know you can put that mentality into a business or something
Yeah.
else if you were given the proper opportunity or shown the proper way. Because I mean, we know Milwaukee has some really trench level areas where folks were never able to talk the most basic. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate you for sharing that area, and even just going back into your event. I just enjoyed just how y'all took y'all time with that.
Yeah.
It wasn't rushed. Everybody got up there. You as a representative for the state of Wisconsin got up there and gave everybody the floor first. And that's what I enjoyed. Seeing the people, and I work with multiple people that I sat on your board personally. What I'm saying? Hey, shout out to my boy Jamie. What I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's
I
one of
still
my
go visit his
boys.
spot. He doing some good work over
Yeah,
there.
Ray was up there. Shout out
Yeah,
to Ray. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Who else? Brad.
Brad.
My
Yeah,
people know
yeah,
Brad.
yeah.
Dr. Shauna Whitehood.
Shauna.
Yeah.
Was Shauna up there?
Shauna was up there.
I miss Shauna.
Yeah.
What was I
You
doing?
saying it's live.
I'm
I don't
tripping,
know.
Shauna. I'm sorry. I don't know how I miss Shauna up there. Shauna, we
And
used to go to
Jess.
church together.
Yeah.
I know Shauna. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Shauna. Yeah, Whitehead. Shout out to Shauna. Yeah. Wasn't even paying attention. I guess I was scanning the room, but I got pictures of everybody. And
You did.
I
Thank
mean,
you for
y'all
the
got a
pics.
great. Yeah, I'm sending over the
Yeah,
rest of them
and
to
that's
you
just
too.
something. So the reentry thing is something that started, right? I tell the story too, goes into the path that I am now, being 12 years old, going to court with my brother and him getting 25 years for murder, right? I didn't know what was happening, but I knew what was happening, right? And me not being able to see him on the outside for maybe the next 16 years, right, affected us and our family, not understanding a part of that. And so with the reentry thing, what we do is we bring it to the community so that they are educated on what happens. A lot of times people don't know what they don't know. And once again, I'm not saying that there does not need to be consequences for certain actions, but what I'm saying too is when you look into communities of colors, we don't have money for lawyers and attorneys. There are some things that can happen at court to give you a second chance or option. Like right now, there are over 10,000 people that will be eligible for an expungement, right, or a pardon. But them not knowing that, and for an expungement, if it wasn't stated at your time of sentencing, I don't care how good you is and how much money. Now that is one thing that doesn't have a bias. You're not getting it. Right. And so we're just trying to educate people more on what that looks like, what is happening. And if we're truly talking about giving people a second chance, right. And being a place that welcomes and we move forward, right? That's the model for Wisconsin. How do we move forward when it seems like we're always moving back or when we're not supplying those energies? I even think about with children. So right now for education, it's maybe $15,000 to educate a child in a school, right? That's just really playing with the number. But at Lincoln Hills, it was going to be $970,000.
My second time hearing this number.
If our
too.
governor did not have that veto pen that
Wow.
took it then down to 600 and something thousand. So you telling me we fight and won't educate them for 16,000, but we will lock them up for almost $1 million, and that's
half
for one
$1 million.
youth. That's one youth for 1 year. This isn't like 5 years. This isn't 10 years, right? And so what I'm saying is, what if we put all of that, not just the money, but like the resources, the activism, into on the front end, we can see a result of that on the back end. Because once again, when they're in Lincoln Hills, right, we've already started that recidivism to the school to prison pipeline, right?
Yeah.
And then I talk about, like, if we go help our youth and not help the other side of the family, then we're doing a disservice, right? And one of the reasons I went to the state, because at the local level, when I was at the county, when I was on the school board, all roads led to the state. It'll be like, hey, you can do this on the local level, but if the state doesn't pass it, it's not a mandate. you can do this on the local level, but if the state doesn't give us authority for this money or for this resources, it's a feel good method. And that's what I tell people a lot of times on a local level, we're passing what are feel good methods. That's what I say. Nobody else should take it wrong. And that means that we're driving up the PR, but without the state passing it or saying it's law, then we can't do anything because it's not law. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so a lot of times I think people don't understand that. Like also at the state, like when at the local level, if I want to get something to the floor, there's something known as a majority rule, right? Two-thirds, right? You can overturn things of the chair, get it to the floor. But at the state, the speaker has a lot of power. And I don't know if people understand what we go through. So they'll say, you guys aren't passing or doing anything. We can't even get anything to committee unless the speaker gives us permission. Right. And we were elected by our district to go up there and serve them. But if I wanted to bring legislation, like I got this purple alert and it's something I'm doing with property taxes for seasoned seniors, right? Some stuff that I saw as I travel, making sure that places are ADA accessible, right? These are bills that I'm working on. But if the speaker does not give it approve, it doesn't go to committee. So if it doesn't go to committee, I can't give a public hearing on it. So I can come back home and talk to you all about it, or maybe travel the state. But until I can get it into committee, right? And even some things we try to bring to the floor and try to overturn something that's already there, they can consider it non-germane. And what that means is they kill our stuff on the floor, right? And so we have to find another strategic way to bring it back, but we can't necessarily bring it back in that way, in that structure, in that form. And so that's what we are fighting against up there.
Yeah, I sat in on one of your on a vote one day. I can't remember what was going on. Was that the Black Advocacy Day or one of those days? There was something going on at one of those weekends. Oh, or was it Dream.org's event? Y'all, I don't think simultaneously y'all had a vote going on, and Dream.org was having their event.
They was advocating
that day. And I watched two votes against felons go through, and I couldn't even believe what I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, did they just say that they gonna make it? Was pretty much making it harder, you know? And it was
for
and
a
I
person
was
to survive. Like here, you know, if someone's homeless, they had a bill come on my committee, and it was like, hey, if you get caught taking aluminum or steel, it's a felony. And for me, I said where I live at, not to be funny, they take those off of abandoned
all the
buildings and
time.
houses because they're homeless. It's for food, right? I said, so in good spirit and faith, I can't vote to give a person that's already down on their rocks a felony. They weren't even talking about a misdemeanor or a ticket. They were saying a felony if they caught someone taking aluminum off of a building. For ours, most of them are abandoned. So a person that's already at rock bottom, I'm finna add something else to their record. Where's the help? Right? Where's the resources? But the criminalization in this state is always real, right? And so for me, I couldn't vote in good faith for it, but of course it passed. You know, with the powers that be.
Yeah. I mean, just saying it, outside of Wisconsin Voices, I see a lot of holdbacks and setbacks from that current group, and the oppression tactics that they try to put on. Just for me being in there and seeing it and just following on my own, you know, just, I mean, you can go to any of these Wisconsin political, whatever you want to see.
Go to Wisconsin and look, because a lot of people don't want to come to Madison, but a lot of times, like, we need people, not just from Milwaukee. If you got friends that live in other parts of the state too, but we need people to come up to these meetings and voice it, because sometimes I'm sitting in a committee and I'm saying what I'm saying and I'm thinking, wow, it would be great if so-and-so was here because of the work that they do. If so-and-so is here because of the work that they do. If this person was here because they was affected by this, right? Like, they would be able to hear a voice outside of me being one of their colleagues, but I want it to be humanized.
Of course.
Of what this person went through, of what's happening with this person, of what we go through. And when they look at Milwaukee, they do look at us like the black sheep. So as soon as you say something that has to do with Milwaukee, they put up a wall. And it's hard. And don't get me wrong, there are some people across the aisle you may can work with too, because we all benefit our own place. But it is so partisan. And I think to myself, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a Democrat, right? But at the end of the day, if we're saying we're here to serve people, let's serve them in all capacities, because everybody is human, whether you a DRI or whether you none above, you deserve the basic necessities, and you deserve to be treated as if you're human, as if you're worth something. And that if we're set here to serve, then let's serve in complete. Let's not just serve by the partisanship.
Yeah. And I thought that's what this whole democracy thing was about. But it looks like it has switched gears. So thank you for breaking that down. Look, you didn't knocked off a few of my little questions. Look, the state, and look, I got to go down a little bit. All right, let me go down a little bit. You do work closely with the Black Caucus and other Black leaders across Wisconsin.
Yeah.
What statewide priorities are Black elected officials aligned on right now that don't get enough attention?
Okay, so what we did, was with the Wisconsin Black State Legislative Caucus. Shout out to Senator Dora Drake. She's the chair, and I'm the vice chair.
Okay.
Right, of the committee. And so what we put on is a statewide listening tour, something that hasn't been done. So as the Black Caucus, we went around to other places, whether it was Madison, Racine, right, to 5 other places. Like 3 more people called us, and we just couldn't fit it in for this year. So when we went there, what we did is listen to what the people wanted. What are some things happening in your community? What do you need to happen? What are some different things we can do as far as procedures, policies, bills? And after we did that, our listening tour, we held a legislative leadership summit here in Milwaukee,
Mhm.
where people came and we broke it down into groups because, like, criminal justice, of course, was one, public safety, right? When we talk about education, childcare, mental health, environment. And so we broke down these workshops, had people come in, and we got right to, like, okay, we know the issues, right? Because I did like the criminal justice and civil rights one. How do we get to possible solutions, and what does that look like coming from us as electeds, but the community sharing this with us? And so we started working on policy pieces. And then just to formulate, we will be sending something out so everybody will get to see some of the things that we're working on as well too. And so people came and we were able to discuss the different policies and what are some of our next steps and things that must happen. And then in February, it is February the 26th. That's when we have our Black Advocacy Day at the
Mhm.
Capitol. Shout out to now Judge Taylor. She
Mhm.
was Senator Taylor. She started that.
Yeah.
Bringing people up to the Capitol, advocating for different things that was happening, different things that was going on. She was bringing them up by the busload. So we
Mhm.
are trying to continue definitely to fill her shoes. It's big, so I won't say that, but continue working in that. And so for Black Advocacy Day, that would give all those individuals a chance to be at the Capitol to talk with other electeds, because we know the people in Milwaukee, but those around the state on different policies and things that we are working on now. We also have the flyer and the link up. If you go to my Representative Sequanna Taylor page, you can make sure that you RSVP for that day and come up. But what we're working on is criminal justice. What we're working on is environmental. What we're working on is child care, special ed. A lot of times when we go back to public ed or special ed, what they don't know is for special ed, babies, we need to be reimbursed up to 90%.
Mhm.
We are reimbursed up to almost 60. And that means that they pay the schools pay, well, public schools, because
Mhm.
the other schools are something different. They pay that money on the front end, and the state is supposed to reimburse them back, but they only reimburse them up to almost 60%.
Mhm.
So that is a drastic change and a decrease in a deficit for what's needed, right? So that was one of the things with childcare. Once again, right now, childcare has got cut, even
Yeah.
though we were able to put some more in the budget. Now the families have to pay a certain amount, and then the provider is paying a certain amount along with everything else that's happening as well too. When we think about environmental, I know a lot of people be like, oh, you're talking about recycling. No, we're talking about the thing that keeps us healthy. When we talk about lead abatement in the city and the county of Milwaukee and around this state, that we had to rechange the pipes. And now we know that lead led to our babies having ADD, our
Mhm.
babies having ADHD, right? To
Mhm.
some of the things that was happening in school that was stopping them from learning. And so the environmental goes above the recycling. It goes to, like, what does your house look like for a child that may has asthma or other things, how carpet and blinds,
And
need
mold
to
and
do,
everything
yeah,
else. Yeah.
mold, right? And living in here, we just came past what was that, the 1,000 year flood.
Yeah.
People are still recovering, right? I didn't talk a lot about it, but my house got hit. Like, I revamped everything that happened in the house. So all of that affects us. And then the budget. That's why when people say, I was on like the Whitley shows the other day, and his wife said, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like it didn't affect me, like politics didn't. And I was like, a lot of people didn't. If you didn't grow up in that political background, you don't understand money, policies, procedures, and budgets, but it affects our everyday life. And so I tell people this: the city is your day-to-day, licensing, permits, garbage, things that happen. The county is your social services, the school board is the school, the state is the mandators, and the federal government is our umbrella that
Mhm.
brings everything down. And if we look at it in that aspect, it helps us to know who does what, when, and
Yeah.
where, and what does that look like. Even our property taxes are connected to our schools.
Yeah.
Right. So when you say, oh, I didn't have a child in schools, I didn't know how that affected me. If you look on your property taxes, it even give you a breakdown, or like the gambling license and stuff. That's part of your property taxes. So I tell people, all of it ties into government, all of it ties into policies, all of it ties into bills, procedures, and then it ties into money. If you don't know nothing else, we know how to count. And so you follow the money and you follow the treasure. And right now, Is our budget a representation of our treasure? And our treasure should be our families, our home, our community, and our youth. And I'll say no.
Speak it. Look, 414-444-5253. I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We got Dr. Sequanna Taylor in the mix, breaking down Milwaukee, community, state, Black Caucus, and everything. You know, maybe she going to tell us where she cooking for Thanksgiving or something too.
Maybe.
So. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voice will be right back. Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voice. This is Bryan Sanders speaking. No. Hey guys, welcome back to Be a Voice Radio. We're here with Dr. Sequanna Taylor in the mix. Before we get to that, I do want to shout out to the squad at Wisconsin Voices.
Come
Start
on.
at Executive Director David Boyne. Get well, my brother.
Come
Think
on,
he wasn't feeling
DB.
too well today, but man, go ahead and get some rest and some vitamin C and antioxidants. LANISHA Martin over there working hard. The reason why she's not my co-host today, LANISHA was finishing up our newsletter. So shout out to you doing your thing. Angelique over there in the mix doing her thing as well. Shout out to Angelique,
Yeah.
Nicole, Zoe, and everybody else that has stepped in the mix with us and did some work at Wisconsin Voices. So I just wanted to shout out the squad real quick.
Absolutely. Shout out, shout out.
Yeah. So yeah, you always in the mix in the community somewhere, not just in the state or in the county spaces. So before I get to the first community question, let's go just a little more personal. What I mean, you told us, of course, you're on the criminal justice reform and why supporting with your brother. But when it comes to this community space, why are you so consistent in that? Let's take away the criminal justice reform. Let's take away
I live
that's
here.
yeah.
I was born here. I live here. This my city, right?
So everybody lives here, but everybody don't care about it like that,
right,
though.
but I do, right? And so from my perspective though, like if I'm gonna do anything, let me do it at home, right? Because
Yeah.
I get to travel, don't get me wrong, and that ain't just for work, right, y'all? I get to travel on my
Of
own
course.
and go to different countries, go to different states. And whenever I'm there, I've had people offer me job opportunities. I'm just gonna keep it real, or to work with them. And they always go like, "Why you still in Milwaukee?
Mhm.
Like you can do so much.
Same
you
here.
do this, you do there." And I go, "Cause Milwaukee is
Man.
home." Right. And if I'm gonna make a difference or a change, why not do it at home? Right.
Yeah.
And so that's where my passion comes from, because regardless of whatever title I wear, when all them titles said and done, I'm still a community member and a person that was born here. So my commitment is to my city. My commitment is to like my babies, right?
Mhm.
They're babies now, and things of that matter. And me just thinking, we often talk about being a change and being different. And I often tell people like, we who we waiting on. Ain't nobody in no white horse coming to save us. That was only one Martin, Malcolm, right? Gandhi. You who you waiting on and what you
Mhm.
waiting on,
Mhm.
right? Because it's somebody possibly waiting on you to do what you need to do so they can align and do what they need to do. But my thing is, if I'm gonna do anything, any change, if I'm gonna give back, I'm gonna start with home.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so passionate about it.
I love the response. We are the ones that the silent generation and the older baby boomers were waiting on, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, we have to, and I feel like any space where I can get people like you, like Farina, shout out to Farina in the
Yeah,
cut.
Mama Friend is still here in
Yeah,
the
my
cut, y'all.
Farina, everybody that we've been interviewing the last, year and some change or more. It's important to get, to get the real folks that on the ground and motivating the people that
Yeah.
ready to step out there and get out there that are just kind of in the shadows, or they're in their own spaces doing their thing
Yeah.
and they don't know where and how to hop
Get
on.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I usually tell people though, and this is me,
Mhm.
right? Your passion leads to your purpose that produces your paycheck.
Hey.
Right? All the time. They're my 3 or 4 P's. And the paycheck may be something different. Maybe it may be monetary. Maybe it may be feeling a different way, feeling better, getting healed.
Mhm.
And so I think about what would you do if you didn't get paid? And what do you do effortless? Right? And I serve. And I often tell people this quote that I say all the time: I want to die empty. And that's using every God given talent, skill I have to serve humanity, to make it better, right? And that's just who I am. So find something that you're passionate about, and that's go along with your purpose, because it's something you can do every day, right? And it's not work, right? Even if it's your job, it's not considered work because you do it so flawless.
Mhm.
And it's not saying it's not gonna be kinks or mountains or things like that, but it's saying that's what you should be doing.
Mhm.
And it clicks, you just know it,
Mhm.
right? It was
Mhm.
like it was something I was always doing. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't trying to be elected. Never thought about being elected, being into politics. I often say I'm a servant, right? But when that opportunity arose, it still aligned with my purpose, and that was helping people. So if you looking to get out, look up different organizations, see what they're doing. A lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I'm gonna just start doing this," and it's no stab or jab against someone who wants to start their own org. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I've even
all
helped
day.
some people do it,
Yeah.
right? But see who else is doing what you're thinking about doing.
And align.
Maybe go over a line or go over there and volunteer, because maybe you was like, "Yeah, I think I want to do that, but I don't really like it," right? You know what I'm saying? Like I
When
like
you
to
get
help.
into it, you figure
Yeah,
out
but
it
it
might
ain't
not be
something
what
I
you
want to
want.
spend the rest of my life doing. So it's tons of places you can go help. You can go volunteer. There's committees that you can sit on, and things of that nature, and just get your feet wet a little bit and see if that's something that you really truly want to do, and you will see if it's your purpose.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I mean, any motivation piece that we can get to get the folks on here. I mean, I've had people from all different spaces that have definitely wanted to, get in or figure out, like they have these conversations with me, especially now that the work I do, before it was kind of quiet. I worked in the snap and food
Yeah.
share space, and then the state space. I was employment training specialist
Yeah.
before I got into this mix. And I mean, I was helping, but now that I'm, a little more forward or more open with it, now they like, man, I want to come out to more events. You got to remind me. And sometimes I forget, but
Yeah.
it's just that, I
I
try to
tell
post
people,
it.
please don't ask me to
Yeah,
remind you.
yeah,
Not to
it's
be funny, like put it
just,
on your calendar.
yeah, look at I try to, like, even like for your
Post it.
events, I post them and,
Yeah.
and things like that, so they see it because they want to go out
Yeah,
there.
y'all. And I love y'all, but
Yeah.
and I love everybody in help, but please don't ask me to remind you to do anything. And I ain't trying to be funny. My thing is I got 8 calendars myself. So when people say that, I was like, I live by my calendar.
got
And
8
people say, how
calendars?
can you still remember? Yes, yes. And so my thing
Man.
is if you see something, put it on your calendar, give yourself a reminder. Because people think you being funny if you don't remind them. And it's like, I wasn't. I had to remember my own stuff. So if you see something, put it on your calendar and come out too.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, and check my
The
the
Facebook
Facebook pages or the
Yeah, I
Wisconsin
put
Voices
everything
Facebook
on
pages,
Facebook.
or rep what's it called? Taylor's Facebook pages, or anybody that's in the mix. So many people that, like, even we had Walter Lanier on the other
Yeah, he do a
week,
lot of
and
great stuff.
great stuff, and he posted like 8-9 events that was going on from like the 16th 17th up into like today or 2-3 days
Yeah.
or even today. So I sent them the event over there. So
Yeah.
it's just like, we just got to step out and talk to those people that we usually, not really talking to. Like, hey, I got this going on. Send it to them. They'll
Yes.
probably post it, especially if it's for our people. Looks like we got a call on the line. Be Your Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
A blessed and joyous holiday to all. Wonderful Thanksgiving, Mr. Bryan and all, Milwaukee.
Oh man, I ain't
Tyrone
heard from you.
WB. But
Man, it's been a long time, my
yeah,
brother. What's
man.
up? Because all the women left that was working with me, you ain't want to talk to me no more. Tamika
Oh,
wasn't
no,
here. Latoya wasn't here.
I'm working hard out here, man.
Okay, it's good to hear your voice, man.
I've been out raking leaves today.
Oh yeah. Come on, stop off at Hampton. I got another spot for you.
Oh no. I'm through till Christmas now, man. But yeah, Sequanna Taylor. Yeah, I miss getting your newsletter. I really do. I miss getting your newsletter. I was in your district over here off of 76th Street.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to give you a vote of confidence. I would love to see you run for governor. I really would. I'm dead serious too.
I know. No, sir. No, thank you.
But because we need it. We need that energy, and we need that. You're just like Lena Taylor there. You know the ins and outs of the
compliment.
of the establishment and stuff there. So we need that. We need more of that. But I really do miss your newsletter, and God bless you, your family, your grandchildren, and all that. I really do.
Yeah.
I miss your newsletter, so I'll catch up with you somewhere in the city here. I still haven't met you yet.
You have, okay, but also if you reach out to my state office, I do have other people that's not in my district that love getting my newsletter because I put out some more stuff. We'll absolutely add you to the list, even though I know you're not in the district, if you would like to continue to get it.
Yeah, I sure will. Well, let me see what I can put together then, and
Okay.
I'll keep listening out for it. I'll look to join hands with you sometime in the new year.
All right,
God
absolutely.
bless
Happy
you well.
holidays.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling
that
in.
made me feel good.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's
Yeah.
the type of calls we love. Yes, reaching out to the
Not
community,
running
and
for
community
government,
reaching
though.
back. Look, he already put it out there for you.
Now I don't want nobody to catch a clip of this and go start running with it. I am
Right.
not running for
Look,
governor.
now the call is gonna kick in. Somebody might want you. So I got a little bit more time with you,
Okay.
maybe like 3 minutes, 4
Okay.
minutes. So people often feel political decisions happen to them, but not with them. What strategies do you believe can build real civic power in Wisconsin, especially in communities that feel forgotten,
Yeah,
like the areas we in, right?
right? And so I think also hosting, and people say town halls. I hate to say that, it seems so boring, right? So I say community engagement. I do neighborly networks.
Yeah.
But I think coming out to those and those individuals hosting them, I know a lot of times people may not come or may feel like they don't get it. I do stuff online too. So I also feel like, call in. We work for you. You are a boss. When you elected us, that means we work for you and make us work for you, right? Make us earn that vote is what I always say to people. But call in and say, hey, this is either some things that I have issues with or concerns with, or also when are you having another town hall or a neighborly network or a community meeting, or I think you should have one, right? And do things like that. And I think those are those areas. And for me, I've been doing doors still since June. I never stopped doing doors, right?
Oh,
I took a
wow.
little
Okay.
break from doing like those campaign, and I started doing official doors in June. Every Friday, me or my office was out in areas. I wasn't going off a list. I was cold knocking doors. Hey, I'm your representative. I don't know if you know me. This is a little bit about me. I had door cards with me. Hey, if you want to get on my newsletter, if you got some good things going on, let me know. If you got 3 or 4 more neighbors, you want me to come back to your house, we can do a porch talk, right? Those are things that we can do as elected. But as far as the community, you got to give us some help. If you go hold me accountable, I'm going to hold you too. Give us a call and say you want to talk to me. Say you want to get on my newsletter. Say you want us to come to your community and do a cleanup, or just come and have a nice chat with you. I'll do it. For some of those, I don't always go to everybody's house because I get other type of calls. I'm going to be honest, but I don't mind holding community events just as a woman, right? I'm just going to be very strategic in saying that and putting that on the
Gotta
air.
be safe all day.
Yeah.
Just be realistic about these things. You know, I
Yeah.
am all about safety and
Mm.
safety of our people first. So let's be
For my
on point
senior
about
season
that.
people, I go to their
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
And I am in the mix of, I'll be definitely making sure that Wisconsin Voices is doing their best to, and you know, if we need to work together and put something together, I'm
Absolutely.
trying to
Let's
work
do
with
it.
everybody. Let's do it. I want to see multiple events just to increase the awareness of what's going on around our state and around our country. And I think if we can just, I don't care what strategy, if we got to get a little creative and rent a neon sign and throw it in the
Yeah.
middle of the street and get a fine, well, I'll figure out somebody to pay for that fine. But still, we
Yeah.
just need to make sure that we get the
Yeah.
awareness out there. And that's all it's about. Any last thoughts or anything that you want to say to these folks, beautiful people of Milwaukee and the ones that's listening around the state?
Absolutely. If you want to get in touch with me, my number is 608-237-9311. 608-237-9311. If you look up Representative Sequanna Taylor, all of that information comes up with my website, email, my phone number. Reach out anytime that you can. Once again, if you contact my office and I'm not your representative, I'll put you in touch with who represents you on what level. I think it's very important, at the local and the state level, who is your representative. I have a couple more events coming up. I have the reentry. I have the neighborly networks. I'm going to some senior homes. And a couple weeks ago, I had a great call where people got on like Pitts and Bun, where we are trying to be more proactive versus reactive, seeing that SNAP may come on again. If you want to join that, we're going to do some stuff around the community on how do we help ourselves, because we're who we're waiting on. So thank you for this opportunity.
Of course, and thank you for coming, Dr. Sequanna Taylor, state rep in the building. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. We are out of here. We'll see y'all next week with great guests, and happy Thanksgiving.